Hello and welcome back to It's Tech Time. Here we are at video 6 of my Ansible Crash Course series. And in this video, we are actually going to write our first playbook. In the last video, we used ad hoc commands that help simplify administration of our servers. For example, with one command, we were able to install all the updates on all our servers at one time. But the real strength of Ansible comes from its playbooks. When we write an Ansible playbook, we define the state that we want our servers to be at, and the commands that Ansible will carry out to bring them to that state. And that is what we are going to be doing in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to actually create an Ansible playbook. And a playbook is basically a script that will run Ansible commands for us. And to relate this to a real world situation, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do git pull. And it says we're already up to date, which is to be expected because right now it's just us working with our own repository. We're not working with anybody else. And so I'll clear the screen to make some room. So to write our first playbook, what we're going to do is we're going to do nano. And I'm going to call this playbook install _ Apache. And I'm going to give it a .yml. The standard default for playbooks is YAML files, and you end those file names in YML and hit enter, and that should bring up a new document for everybody. And we'll begin the playbook by doing 3 dashes, and then we'll click enter to go down to the next line. And here I'll do dash space host :all. So this playbook's going to run against all hosts in our inventory file. And now I will place enter, and then I'll hit space twice, so now we're lined up underneath the host, and I'll type become : space true. We want this playbook to be able to run sudo commands. We'll hit enter again, then 2 spaces, and we're going to type in task : and then enter twice, and then 2 spaces. Sorry to interrupt this video. I just wanted to let you know how much fun I have making these videos for you. I really enjoy making these videos, but it's not cheap to bring you content on a regular basis. If you enjoy these videos, then please consider helping this channel grow. There are several different ways you can support It's Tech Time. You can hit the like button, you can subscribe to our channel, you can share this video with someone who will find it useful. You can even leave a comment showing your support down below. You can financially support It's Tech Time by clicking one of our affiliate links below, which could save you some money on something you are already thinking of purchasing. Or you can contribute directly by visiting our new merchandise store listed below under all our links. Contributing to It's Tech Time in any way helps to keep us motivated to continue to bring you videos on a regular schedule. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Now let's get back to the current one you are watching. And this will be our first play here. And we're going to give it a name, so we're going to do dash space name. And we're going to give it a title, and this is basically just so we can identify it. And I'm going to call this one install Apache. So we'll hit enter again. And we'll line our cursor up under name, and then we'll put in the module we want to use, which in this case is apt, : and we'll hit enter. And now we'll line back up underneath the T, and we'll type in name, and this is the name for the package that we're going to be installing. And in this situation, we're going to be installing Apache 2. And that right there is pretty much the entire playbook. So we're running this playbook, we're specifying which host to run against, and we're going to do all. And we want this playbook to run as sudo, so we're going to become true. And then we're going to list the tasks we want this playbook to do. And so we give a descriptive name to the task that we're going to run, which I did install Apache. And then the module we're going to run is apt for apt install. The name of the package we're going to install is Apache 2. So now we'll hit Control O to save, enter to keep this file name, and then Control X to exit. So now in order to run the playbook, we simply use Ansible -playbook. We'll do --ask -become -pass again, because we want it to ask for the sudo password. And then the name of the playbook, which in this case is install Apache, and I'll press enter, and it's going to ask for our sudo password. And so we successfully ran a playbook against all our servers. And it asked us for the sudo password up here with the become password. And then the first thing it did is it gathered facts, so it actually confirmed that it could connect to our servers. And then it ran the task install Apache. And it says here that it changed both servers, which means that it installed Apache on both servers. And then it gives me a recap of what happened. And it says one change on both servers. And it has OK2, which means that both of these steps ran OK. And so now if I was to clear the screen and then run the command again, the output is slightly different. So right now we simply have OK2 and change 0. So this time when it ran, it checked to see if Apache 2 was installed or not, and it found Apache 2 already installed, so it just said, okay, it's there. And what's really cool about that is if I grab the IP address of one of my servers and then go to a web browser and type it in, I instantly see the default Apache 2 and Ubuntu webpage. So this proves that Apache 2 was in fact successfully installed on the server. So if we go back to our command prompt and then edit our playbook, I'm going to change Apache to some random package that doesn't exist. And save it and exit. And so I'll try to run the playbook again, and it's going to ask for my sudo password. And this time I have a different message. The gathering facts step was successful, but the install step failed, saying that there's no package. So if you come down here to recap, for both servers there's one OK, which is the gathering facts step was OK, and there's one failed, which was the installation step. It failed because that package, Extreme Star, doesn't actually exist. And so let's go ahead and nano the playbook, and I'm going to fix this name back to Apache 2 so it won't fail again in the future. I'll hit Control O to save this. And while we're here, we're going to add another play, and I want this play to run before the install Apache play. And so I'm going to go over here and space, then dash, space, and then name, and then colon. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to update the repository index, because Apache may fail if the index isn't up to date. And I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to space all the way over to underneath name. And for the module, and again it's going to be the app module, and I'll do colon and I'll do space, and I'll come all the way back over here to underneath the T. And the module I'm going to use this time, update underscore cache colon, and then yes. And so I'll do Control O to save the file, and then Control X to exit out, and I'll clear the screen so we can see a little bit better. And I'll run this playbook again, and it shouldn't do anything different really. And it looks like I was wrong. There is one change in each of the server. The repository index was in need of updating, and it ran that successfully. And then it checked for Apache, and Apache was already installed, so it just said OK. And so my output is 3 OK and 1 changed for both servers. And so let's look at the playbook again, and we're going to make another change. We're going to add another play. We're going to install another package. So I'm going to go all the way down here to the bottom. I'm going to do 2 spaces and then a dash and then name. And I'm going to call this one install PHP support for Apache. I'll hit enter. I'll space over. And the module I'm going to use this time is again apt colon space all the way over to T. And the name is going to be lib apache 2-mod-php. And we'll save that with Control O and then enter to save, and then Control X to exit out. Let me clear the screen so we can see, and I'll hit the up arrow to go back to my playbook. And so now we have a playbook that installs 2 packages. It installs the Apache package, which both servers already have it, so I just said OK and moved on it. It installs PHP on both servers, and PHP was not already on both servers, so this time it says change out beside both servers. And again, with the updated repository being ran before the install, it updated the repository, and it looks like again there was another change on both servers. So we have 2 changes for both servers, and we have OK on all 4 plays: the gathering facts, the updating repository, install Apache, and install PHP. And I'm going to go ahead and edit our playbook a little bit more. And I'm going to go down here to where it says Apache. I'm going to enter to go down a line, space over. I'm going to do state, latest. And I'm going to do the same thing over here for PHP, latest. So now even if it already has PHP or Apache on it, if there's an update for Apache or PHP, it's going to go ahead and run that update. And so I hit Control O, and I'm going to save it to the same file name, and Control X to exit. Let's go back up to our playbook command, and we're going to run it. And it looks like again the repositories needed to be updated on both servers, and Apache and PHP were both the current latest, which was to be expected since we just installed it earlier. So again, we just have one change in each server. But now you could use this playbook over and over again just to make sure that you had the latest version of both Apache and PHP, and that's pretty cool to be able to do that with just this one playbook. And you can use the app module to uninstall modules as well. First, what we're going to do is we're going to copy install Apache to uninstall underscore Apache.yml. So now if I do ll, we have 2 YAML files. We have the install Apache and we have the uninstall Apache. So now we're going to nano the uninstall Apache, and we're simply going to change the state from latest. We'll change the state to absent on both of these packages. What it's going to do is that when Ansible connects to these servers, if it sees Apache and it sees that the state's supposed to be absent, it's going to uninstall it. And the same with PHP. And I'm going to change this names to keep up with everything. Uninstall, install. And now I'm going to go ahead and remove this update repository index because that's not needed for uninstalling. And I'll hit Control O to save, file name, Control X to exit. And so now we're going to go back up to where we ran the playbook. I'm going to tell it to run the uninstall apache.yaml. I'm going to hit enter, and it successfully ran. As you can see, it uninstalled Apache on both servers, and it uninstalled PHP support as well on both servers. So we have a change state 2 and OK3, so because all 3 of the commands ran. And remember, I I took out the updating repositories because that was not needed for uninstalling. And so if I go back to my web browser, I still have the default Apache website here, but if I was to refresh the page, it says it can't be reached anymore. And it can't reach the site because we uninstalled Apache when we ran the uninstall playbook. And the only difference between the install and the uninstall is that we put the state as absent for both of these packages. So Ansible also has control over the state of the packages as well. And so if you want to put Apache back on the servers, you simply run the install Apache playbook, and it shows 3 changes for the servers. So it updated the repository, it installed Apache, and it installed PHP support. So if I go back to my web browser, I'm greeted by the default Apache 2 page for Ubuntu. Now right now, our playbooks are really inefficient. Believe it or not, but you can combine these 2 commands into 1 command, but we'll get into that later in a future video. For now, I'm just going to make sure everything's been checked into version control, and I'll run a git status. And you see my 2 playbooks, because I've been editing them, are not checked into version control right now. And so I'm going to do git add and then a dot to add both of them at the same time. So I have to do git status. They're both checked in. So now I need to do a git commit. I'll do git commit -m. And for my message, I'm going to put in that I created install/uninstall playbooks. Close it in quotation marks, hit enter. So now I'll do a git push to check it in. And so now if I do git status, it says everything is caught up. And if I go to my git repository in the web browser, I can see the install Apache YAML and the uninstall Apache YAML as well. So we're all caught up for today. And here we are at the end again. In this video, we created our first playbooks, and hopefully now you are beginning to see just how powerful Ansible is, and just how much Ansible can do for us when it comes to automation. Now obviously it can get a lot more advanced than this, and we will go even deeper in the next few videos in my Ansible crash course. I hope this video was helpful, and I thank you so much for watching it through to the end. I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video.